You have an image or a sound in your head when I say the name Godzilla. As time marches on, Godzilla enters the pantheon of classic monsters. You don't even need to have seen a Godzilla movie to know just how deep a footprint it stomped into the public consciousness. Yet those who have seen the movies know how flexible Godzilla is as a character, often an unwitting protector, or even a childhood superhero. You'd be surprised to find how relatively few Godzillas truly lean into the villain you're thinking of. But among them, a select few honor its villainous roots, an atomic abomination with no place in this world, a tragedy wrought into pain, a pain taken out on mankind. This is a favorites list, not a best. Godzilla's critically acclaimed film in 1998 is only a corny 90s action flick on a good day. But over the years, I've found a lot to love about its incarnation of Godzilla. While radical back then, 1998's design by Patrick Tatopoulos stands tall beside today's more experimental Godzillas. An agile, giant saurian edge with just enough nuclear guana to ground it in nature. Don't ask me where the chain came from, I just think it's awesome. Its more animalistic take on the character blurs the line between animal and monster. And while some argue this takes the god out of Godzilla, I think it harkens to the spirit of the original, in that there's a beauty of life in Godzilla you want to preserve, but cannot in the wake of death and destruction. Another bit of soul from the original is also in the use of practical effects. While huge on CGI, the effects team kept Godzilla's heart in tokusatsu alive, and maybe the best behind-the-scenes footage ever made. In a game like Undertale, renowned for its wacky cast of monsters whose goal is to stop the little pitiful human you are, one stands above the rest for me. Enter Mettaton. I don't think I've been thrown in for a loop by any character quite like Mettaton. While the other monsters try and stop you out of hatred, kindness, loyalty, pastry sales, Mettaton wants to kill you to put on a show. He is a performer, an indestructible killer robot who puts you through increasingly elaborate and lethal game shows, baking lessons, and primetime newscasts. I like that his presence in the game feels like a long-form joke, as you may initially get the impression he's just show-stoppingly vain. Though, like many things in Undertale, things aren't what they seem. He mentions his fans a lot. His inventor, Alphys, saves you at every turn, but increasingly feels staged. Before you can put two and two together, Mettaton shuts Alphys away of his own free will, leaving you trapped as he televises a death-defying dance-off. Killing you will free the underground, and he'll do it for the fans watching. Alphys can't play the hero, but gives you one last hope in the form of a comically large switch on his back. She warns you it could be deadly, but it's your only chance of taking down the indestructible.
Oh, yes.
Speaking of killer robots who put you through elaborate puzzles, oh, hey GLaDOS.
When you die, I'm going to laminate your skeleton and pose you in the lobby.
Thank you, GLaDOS. GLaDOS is one of my favorite villains for the daunting task of being your one and only source of company in Portal. It is a feat of writing to cramp this much patronizing, passive-aggressive sass into one robot, yet retain that cold AI feel to her voice. Her lines delivered by Ellen McLean really speak for themselves.
Any contact with the chamber floor will result in an unsatisfactory mark on your official testing record, followed by death. That jumpsuit you're wearing looks stupid. That's not me talking. It's right here in your file.
It is even funnier to me, in spite of that she works just as well off others in Portal 2. Underlying all this, though, she wouldn't be here just because she's funny. Behind her cat-like toying with you is a truly chilling hatred you can hear behind the crackles of her audio from one of video games' most iconic villains.
Speaking of curiosity, you're curious about what happens after you die, right? Guess what? I know.
Chrono Trigger. One of, if not my favorite games of all time. If you know me, I will eat up a cast of characters as vast as they are intertwined. Though I mainly think to our band of heroes, the villains are equally brimming with character. That smug, imperious Dalton who jacks your time machine. That comically incompetent Aussie, always hightailing behind some sort of henchman. And the tragic mystery behind Magma. See, at the logical opposite of GLaDOS, Lavos is almost not a character. Lavos is an apocalyptic being who crashed into the prehistoric world, transcending time and divesting otherworldly powers in its hibernation. Lavos is the origin of magic in this world. I love this for a game about time travel. When you discover Lavos, you realize how deep its roots go, how its presence alone has germinated into every era and character, heroes and villains alike. To say I'm fascinated by the world of Chrono Trigger is ultimately to say I'm fascinated by Lavos. And go deep enough, and you'll see the true purpose of Lavos, absorbing energy and life across time into a more perfect, terrifying life form before hatching from the world like an egg and spawning from planet to planet.
Time to go do that work. Say hi, Burn. There we go, buddy.
You should catch on quickly how fascinated I am with the perfect life form. Like Lavos, the xenomorph from the Alien franchise fascinates me more as a facet of world building than a character. What is a more perfect and frightening picture of evolution, after all, than an alien whose sole existence is to reproduce and kill? The xenomorph treads that very fine line between a living thing and a bioweapon, flowing with acid blood that will literally melt you, impregnating and bursting from your chest. Yet, they are grounded by uncannily familiar biology, pharyngeal jaws, parasitism, a hive mind. Their ability to take after their hosts lends itself to the imagination. They've sure taken over mine, and the Alien franchise was the first in a long line of things that I like today. And maybe I'm ashamed to admit for all of those, I've thought at least once, what would happen if I dropped a xenomorph in here? We interrupt our lineup of killer robots and natural abominations to bring you another killer robot. Kinda. Like half, really.
The cyborg. Beware the cyborg.
Captain Silver goes so hard. The boisterous pirate and main villain of Treasure Planet nearly didn't make this list. As I love him just so much as a character, it calls into question if I like him as a villain. See, Captain Silver has the very surprising distinction of being one of only 2 Disney villains ever redeemed by the end of their film. And you can see why. He's charming, he has a heart of gold, and steps in as a father figure to our little hero. He's also responsible for that one pirate getting murked, running off with his treasure, and even worse, burning down a single mother's establishment. Dude. Both sides of him, though, are lulled by dreams of Captain Flint's treasure. A good man is compelled to do terrible things for a dream, tearing him apart into the cyborg you see before you.
You give up a few things, chasing a dream.
This is embodied wonderfully by his design and animation, brilliantly pairing 3D animated cybernetics with hearty tooty fat guy swag. If last pick was about a plucky cabin boy finding a new space pirate dad, this one is about a plunky junker mech pilot finding a strange little mutant sister. This. Mobile Suit Gundam takes the concept of new types, or people who've evolved to hear brain waves, and mixes it into the blender of war. If the military learns that new types excel on the battlefield, it'll want more. Enter Puru. She's a cyber newt type, artificially enhanced to hear brainwaves. Her mind is powerful, but erratic from unnatural welding of her brain. Born only for war, she is a child soldier who finds a brother in our hero Judo, and family in his crew, where she once had none. Despite being a tool for the enemy, she switches sides. She becomes the bubbly, bratty little sister of the group, her first and only family. She learns how to love, how to grieve, and how to... I almost forgot what list this was. Again, war will want more. And if the enemy can't have her, it will simply make another. Enter Puru 2, a cyber new type and a clone. She is cold and ruthless, almost nothing like Puru in all but appearance and ability. Yet despite their great suffering and rage, Judo and the crew know she is brainwashed. She may not be the Puru they knew, but there is someone in there worth saving. And indeed, only known to Puru 2, the more she realizes her place in this awful war, she can still hear the brainwaves of the one before. Remember what I was saying about the ultimate life form? You'll often hear it as a trope for characters who are genetically created simply extraordinarily powerful. But as you can tell, I like when it's used literally. And while Lavos and the Xenomorph are excellent monsters, I go to one villain who injects a lovely dose of character into that role. Prehistoric super vampires revered as gods by early man. If there is a single sentence etched into my brain, it's that one. I love the Pillarmen. These impeccably swole monsters of godly beauty can only come from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. They make an incredible foil to Joseph Joestar, a mere mortal who has to swindle and outwit godmen thousands of years older than him. All the Pillarmen are very fun and engaging in this dynamic, but their leader, Cars, takes the top for me. Like Lavos, there wouldn't be JoJo's Bizarre Adventure without him. As the creator of the stone mask that cursed the Joestar bloodline, Cars is a genius of biology and used these masks to tap into our latent powers of brain acupuncture. If it can turn us into vampires, what could it turn him into? Turns out, with a white woman's necklace and a German suntan, Cars' mask can finally let him breathe the unmatched power of the sun, and with it, access the entire animal kingdom in his DNA. Cars is motivated by nature and its hierarchy. 10,000 years ago, his research into a step up the natural order turned his race against him. He slayed all who opposed him. Though this respect for the natural hierarchy can be admirable when he saves puppies or refuses to hurt a flower, it's ultimately his downfall when in godhood he forgets he's still a subject to the order. To think you have conquered the sun is a bold mistake. Bonus points for letting him out into space. We're no stranger to that on this list.
Dread it, run from it, destiny arrives all the same. And now it's here. Or should I say, I am.
You saw this coming. It was destined to be here. Thanos in Avengers Infinity War is one of those villains I strangely root for. His dream to finish his rock collection and snap away half the population is morbid, but the movie straps you in to watch what this goal means to the big guy. We give up some things chasing a dream, and Thanos is out to end the Malthusian nightmare of overpopulation. Even past his wicked deeds as a brutal warlord, hardened by trying for this goal manually for years, he narratively takes a role almost like a protagonist of the film. He sacrifices a lot for this dream. Sold by a deliciously timbered performance from Josh Brolin, Thanos speaks with conviction. He knows what he's doing is heinous. He just believes in the goal that hard. Thanos is this high almost by sheer performance.
And what I predicted came to pass.
Congratulations, you're a prophet
I'm a survivor.
who wants to murder trillions.
With all 6 stones, I could simply snap my fingers. They would all cease to exist. I call that mercy.
And then what?
I finally rest and watch the sunrise on a grateful universe. The hardest choices require the strongest wills.
No other performance lives in my head quite like Thanos. Well, almost. Metal Gear Solid, as a game series, is renowned in no small part for its cast of characters. They offer bizarre, mystifying, and poignant glimpses into the future of war and espionage, as do the game's villains. Were I not limiting myself to one villain per franchise, likely half this list would be Metal Gear villains. Even then, number 1 would be the same.
I've been waiting for you. A messenger from the Patriots. Where do I know him from?
So you're the boss around here?
No, not just around here. I'm the boss to surpass Big Boss himself. Solid Snake. No, that is not Solid Snake. Take cover.
War and clones. We've been here before. A legendary soldier, codenamed Big Boss, was cloned and genetically sequenced by a secret government known as the Patriots. The lives of these clones are haunted by his legacy. One of these clones, a perfect one, was kept secret. A perfect clone of a legendary soldier and a former U.S. president who wears a mecha exoskeleton with rocket skates and 2 swords named Democrat and Republican. Saying all of this sounds positively ridiculous, yet Solidus Snake is played dead straight. His life as George Sears, 43rd President of the U.S., handed to him on a silver platter, is one he lives to spite. As a clone, he is subject to rapid aging and infertility, destined for one use and to be discarded by the Patriots. Underlying his genetic destiny and hatred for the Patriots is a love for freedom, liberty. We see this in his relationship with Raiden, a child soldier he orphans in Liberia. He cannot have his own child, yet years later, when the Patriots pit them against one another, it is clear who sired a legacy in Raiden, beyond genes. Raiden is shackled before Solidus. All Solidus needs to do is kill Raiden and gain crucial information and undermine the Patriots. That is his dream. There is nothing that would stop him but liberty. I don't just watch Solidus scenes, my white ass sits down and listens. He is in large part my reason for a dream to work with my voice. His performance by the late John Sagan is irreplaceable, and not without a lack of trying. Dare I say, no other character has left a legacy on me like Solidus. GLaDOS. Lavos. Thanos.
Yes, a lot of yesses.